You probably think of garlic as a miracle food, a natural medicine that can strengthen your heart, protect your immune system, and even help you live longer. And yes, that's true. But here's the shocking part. If you use garlic the wrong way, it can silently turn into a poison, damaging your stomach, weakening your blood, straining your heart, and in extreme cases, even threatening your life. In fact, I once treated a patient here in the United States who nearly lost his life after eating garlic right before heart surgery. For decades, people all around the world have believed that garlic is always good for you. But the truth is much more complicated. Garlic only works as nature's medicine when you use it correctly. If you don't, the same cloves that could heal your body may actually harm it. Now don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe in garlic's power. Science has shown us that allicin, the key compound in garlic, is a golden gift for cardiovascular health, inflammation, and immunity. But here's the problem. Most older adults I meet in my clinic are making simple, everyday mistakes with garlic. These mistakes are not small. They can lead to ulcers, dangerously low blood pressure, or even serious bleeding disorders. That's why in today's video, I'm going to reveal the 10 deadly mistakes people make with garlic, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Along the way, I'll share clinical insights and little-known secrets from years of medical practice in the United States. And if you stay with me until the very end, you'll walk away with a complete safety map, a guide to turning garlic back into the powerful healer it was meant to be, instead of the hidden threat it can become. But before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from, and how old are you this year? Do you notice your muscles feeling weaker, or your mobility getting harder with age? Share your story in the comments below. I'll do my best to respond to each one of you. Thank you for joining us here on Senior Health Tips Healthy Aging. Now, let's get started. Mistake number 10. Choosing poor quality garlic. Let's start our countdown with something most people overlook: the garlic you buy. You see, not all garlic is created equal. Many folks grab whatever looks cheapest at the store: bulbs that are soft, sprouting green shoots, or even imported varieties that have been bleached white to look fresh. The problem? By the time you bring that garlic home, most of its healing power is already gone. In some cases, it can even be dangerous. Moldy garlic, for example, may carry aflatoxins. These are toxins that can damage your liver over time. I still remember one of my patients, an older gentleman who thought he was doing the right thing by eating garlic every day. But he didn't notice the cloves he used were damp and slightly moldy. Weeks later, he showed up in my clinic with severe digestive distress and early signs of liver toxicity. It was a wake-up call for him, and a reminder that the quality of garlic matters just as much as the quantity. Research from the USDA has confirmed what many doctors already suspected. Some imported garlic, especially the mass-produced kind, may contain pesticide residues or lose a significant portion of its beneficial compounds by the time it reaches your kitchen. On the other hand, fresh organic garlic, whether from a U.S. farm or even a trusted local market, retains its nutrients, flavor, and potency. So how do you make sure you're choosing wisely? Look for bulbs that feel heavy and firm in your hand, with dry, papery skins that are still intact. Avoid cloves with green sprouts, or any sign of softness or mold. And whenever possible, go for organic or locally grown garlic. Think of it as the difference between taking a fresh prescription and swallowing an expired pill. You want the version that actually works for your health, not the one that's already lost its strength. Mistake number 9. Not washing garlic before using it. This one surprises a lot of people. Most of us see garlic as a clean ingredient. It's dry, it's wrapped in papery skin, and it just looks protected. So many folks simply peel it and toss it straight into the pan. But here's the truth. Garlic spends months underground, soaking up everything from dirt and bacteria to fungal spores. Even after harvest, those tiny particles can cling to the skin for years. And once you handle that garlic, they can easily end up on your knife, your cutting board, and eventually right into your food. The CDC has actually warned about this, especially when it comes to garlic stored in oil. Without proper cleaning, bacteria like Clostridium botulinum, the same one that causes botulism, can grow and produce toxins that are dangerous, even life-threatening. I'll never forget a case in Texas. An elderly woman came into the hospital with sudden nausea, blurred vision, and weakness. At first, her family thought it was just fatigue. But after some tests, doctors discovered she had foodborne illness from contaminated garlic that hadn't been washed before it was prepared and stored. Something as simple as a quick rinse could have prevented her suffering. The good news? Washing garlic doesn't strip away its nutrients or healing compounds. It's easy. Just give each clove a brief rinse under running water. For extra safety, soak it for a minute in a bowl of light salt water, then pat dry before peeling. This helps remove dirt, bacteria, and mold while keeping all the goodness inside intact. It's such a small step, but for seniors especially, it can mean the difference between enjoying garlic's healing benefits or risking an upset stomach, or worse. Think of it as cleaning a piece of medicine before you take it. After all, garlic is nature's medicine chest, and like any good remedy, you want it pure before it enters your body. Mistake number 8. Not letting garlic rest after chopping. This is one of those little secrets that almost nobody talks about, yet it makes all the difference. Most people chop or crush garlic and immediately toss it into the pan. It feels natural. You're in a hurry, the pan is hot, and you want to get cooking. But here's the catch. When you do that, you're actually cheating yourself out of the very compound that makes garlic so powerful for your heart, your immune system, and your overall health. That compound is called allicin. It doesn't exist in a whole garlic clove. It only forms when garlic's cells are broken, through chopping, slicing, or crushing, and the enzymes finally get a chance to mix. But allicin needs a little time to wake up. If you throw garlic into heat too soon, those enzymes are destroyed before the magic even happens. Researchers at the National Institute of Nutrition here in the US actually tested this. They compared garlic that was cooked right away versus garlic that was chopped and left to rest for 10 minutes. The difference? The resting garlic had almost 3 times more allicin. That's 3 times the benefit for your heart, your circulation, and your body's ability to fight infection. I sometimes show my patients this with a simple kitchen experiment. Crush 2 cloves of garlic. Cook one immediately and leave the other to sit for 10 minutes before cooking. The first clove smells mild, almost sweet. The second one? It's pungent, sharp, and you can feel that kick in your nose. That smell is allicin, and it's your body's best friend. So here's the simple practice. Chop, crush, or mince your garlic. Then walk away. Give it 10 minutes. That's all. Let it breathe, let it come alive, and then cook it however you like. Think of it as allowing your garlic to charge up before it goes to work for you. Just a little patience, and you've unlocked the full healing power of this humble bulb. Mistake number 7. Eating garlic before surgery. Garlic is often celebrated as a blood cleanser, and in many ways, that's true. But here's where it can backfire. If you eat garlic right before surgery, that same property can actually put your life at risk. You see, the compound allicin, yes, the same one that protects your heart and boosts immunity, also makes your blood less likely to clot. That's wonderful for preventing heart attacks, but on the operating table it can be dangerous. I remember a case from Boston that really shook the surgical team. An older patient was scheduled for a hip replacement. He was otherwise healthy, but during the procedure, the doctors noticed unusual bleeding that was hard to control. Later they learned he had been eating raw garlic daily, believing it would help him heal faster. Instead, it nearly cost him his life. The science behind this is clear. Allicin interferes with platelet activity, the little cells in your blood that form clots and stop bleeding. When platelets can't stick together properly, even a small surgical incision can bleed far more than expected. And it's not just major surgeries. Even dental work, extractions, or minor outpatient procedures can become complicated if garlic is still actively thinning your blood. That's why surgeons and anesthesiologists in the U.S. almost always remind patients, stop eating garlic at least 7 days before any surgery. A week gives your body enough time to clear the compounds and restore normal clotting function. So while garlic is a healer in most settings, before surgery it becomes a hidden risk. Think of it this way. There's a time to use garlic as medicine, and there's a time to set it aside. Knowing the difference can literally save your life. Mistake number 6. Ignoring drug interactions with garlic. Garlic may feel like something completely natural, just a simple bulb from the garden. But once it's inside your body, it acts almost like a medicine. And just like any medicine, it can interact with the prescriptions you already take. This is something I see far too often with older patients. They believe that because garlic is natural, it's automatically safe. But the truth is, natural doesn't always mean harmless. Garlic can actually intensify the effects of certain medications. For example, if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or even daily aspirin, garlic can make your blood even thinner, increasing your risk of dangerous bleeding. If you're on insulin or metformin for diabetes, garlic can push your blood sugar lower than expected, sometimes to unsafe levels. And for those managing high blood pressure, combining garlic with antihypertensive drugs can drive blood pressure down too far, leaving you dizzy, weak, or even at risk of fainting. I recall one patient in California who learned this the hard way. She was faithfully taking metformin for her diabetes, but also started eating black garlic daily after hearing about its superfood benefits. Within weeks, she had several episodes of severe hypoglycemia. Her blood sugar dropped so low she ended up in the ER. What she thought was a healthy choice nearly turned into a medical emergency. There's actually a long list of medications that can clash with garlic: blood thinners, aspirin, insulin, metformin, certain heart medicines, and more. That's why my advice is always the same. Never combine garlic with prescription drugs without talking to your doctor first. A quick conversation can prevent a lot of unnecessary risks. Garlic can be a wonderful ally for your health, but only if you let it work with your treatment plan, not against it. Mistake number 5. Eating raw garlic on an empty stomach. A lot of people believe that eating raw garlic first thing in the morning is the fastest way to cleanse the body. It sounds powerful, even logical, like taking a supercharged vitamin before anything else touches your stomach. But for many, this habit does more harm than good. Raw garlic is incredibly strong. When it hits an empty stomach, it can irritate the lining, causing nausea, burning, and in some cases, even bleeding ulcers. I once had a patient who prided himself on his morning garlic ritual. Every day before breakfast, he would chew 2 raw cloves, convinced it was the secret to longevity. At first he felt energized, but after a few months he developed constant stomach pain. Eventually, an endoscopy revealed severe ulcers in his stomach lining. What he thought was a healing habit had actually been eating away at him from the inside. Here's why this happens. Garlic stimulates the stomach to produce more hydrochloric acid, which is part of the digestive process. If there's no food to absorb and balance that acid, it begins to attack the stomach wall itself. Over time, this leads to inflammation, pain, and in vulnerable people, especially seniors, serious complications like bleeding. The fix is simple and gentle. Don't take garlic on an empty stomach. Instead, enjoy it with meals. Mix it into cooked dishes, add it to soups, or pair it with healthy fats like olive oil. This way, your stomach has a protective cushion, and you still get all the powerful benefits without the painful side effects. Remember, garlic is a healer, but only when used wisely. Think of it as a strong friend, supportive when treated with respect, but overwhelming if pushed the wrong way. Mistake number 4. Storing garlic the wrong way. Garlic may seem like one of those hearty foods that can sit around forever, but the truth is, how you store it makes a huge difference in both its safety and its health benefits. Many people instinctively put garlic in the refrigerator thinking the cool air will keep it fresh, but cold, damp environments actually do the opposite. They encourage garlic to sprout quickly, lose flavor, and in some cases, even develop mold. Others leave garlic in a dark, moist corner of the kitchen, where it can quietly grow fungi that aren't just unpleasant. They can be dangerous. The FDA has raised concerns about aflatoxins, toxic substances produced by certain molds that can contaminate improperly stored garlic. Over time, consuming aflatoxins can harm the liver and increase the risk of serious illness. I once cared for a gentleman in his 70s who had been faithfully eating garlic every day for his health, but he didn't realize the bulbs he was using had been sitting in a damp pantry for nearly 6 months. Eventually, he developed liver issues linked to mold toxins in the garlic. Something he believed was protecting him was, silently, doing harm. So what's the right way to store garlic? It's simpler than you think. Keep it in a dry, well-ventilated place, at room temperature, away from moisture. A mesh basket or an open paper bag works beautifully. Anything that lets air flow around the bulbs. Stored this way, garlic can last for weeks, even months, without sprouting or spoiling. Think of garlic like a living medicine. Treat it with the same care you would a prescription. Keep it safe, keep it clean, and it will return the favor with its healing power. Mistake number 3. Using pre-peeled garlic. I know it's tempting, those little tubs or bags of garlic that are already peeled, ready to toss straight into your pan. They save time, they save effort, and they look so convenient. But here's the hidden truth. Pre-peeled garlic loses much of its power almost as soon as it's exposed to air. Within just 24 hours, studies have shown it can lose up to 50% of its allicin, the very compound that makes garlic such a superstar for your heart and immune system. By the time you cook with it, you're getting a fraction of the benefit you think you are. And it's not just about lost nutrients, there's a safety concern too. Once garlic is peeled, its natural protective skin is gone, leaving it far more vulnerable to bacteria. I still remember a case from New York where a man became seriously ill after eating pre-packaged garlic from a jar. Tests later confirmed it was contaminated with salmonella. Something as small as skipping the peeling step had left him in the hospital for days. The fix here couldn't be simpler. Stick with fresh, whole bulbs. Peel the cloves just before you cook. It may take a few extra seconds, but what you gain is freshness, flavor, and the assurance that the healing compounds are still alive and working for you. And if peeling feels like a chore, there's a trick. Lightly crush the cloves with the flat side of a knife, and the skin slips right off. Quick, easy, and safe. Think of it this way. Garlic isn't meant to be factory processed. It's a gift from nature, best used in its most natural state. The closer you stay to the source, the more of its real power you keep. Mistake number 2. Swallowing whole garlic cloves. This is a habit I've seen many people try, especially those who want a quick, natural pill for cholesterol or blood pressure. They'll take a clove of garlic, gulp it down with water, and believe they've just given their body a powerful dose of medicine. But here's the thing. When garlic is swallowed whole, it does almost nothing. Why? Because the magic of garlic lies in allicin, and allicin doesn't exist in an untouched clove. It only forms when garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed, when the enzymes inside are finally released and given a chance to interact. If you swallow a clove whole, your stomach acids break it down before those compounds ever activate. In other words, you're passing garlic through your system without unlocking its real potential. I once treated a middle-aged man who was convinced that swallowing garlic cloves would lower his cholesterol. He kept this routine for nearly a year, every single morning. But when his lab results came back, his cholesterol hadn't budged. He was frustrated, until we talked about how garlic actually works. Once he began crushing and letting it rest before meals, the results started to show. Scientific comparisons back this up too. Crushed or chewed garlic has far greater bioavailability, meaning your body can actually use the beneficial compounds. Whole garlic cloves, on the other hand, deliver little more than trace effects. The solution is simple. Always chop, crush, mince, or chew garlic thoroughly. Even better, let it sit for a few minutes before cooking or eating, so allicin has time to fully form. That's the difference between swallowing a hard lump and truly giving your body the healing medicine garlic is meant to be. Mistake number 1. Cooking garlic too long, too hot. Garlic has a kind of delicate strength. It's powerful, but also fragile. The very compound that makes it so healing, allicin, is surprisingly sensitive to heat. The moment garlic hits a hot pan, the clock starts ticking. Within just 60 seconds at high heat, studies show that almost 90% of allicin is gone. That means if you saute garlic for 5 minutes until it turns brown and sweet, you're enjoying the flavor but losing nearly all of the medicinal benefit. I often share a small experiment with patients. Cook one batch of garlic for just 30 seconds and another for 5 minutes. Smell them side by side. The first still has that sharp, almost spicy aroma. It's allicin at work. The second smells mellow, nutty, and sweet, which is lovely for taste, but most of the healing compounds have already vanished. One woman I knew, an Italian grandmother in her 70s, had always sautéed her garlic until golden for her sauces, just like her mother did. When she learned about the effect of heat on garlic's benefits, she made a tiny adjustment. Instead of cooking it for minutes, she began adding it right at the end, letting it warm gently. Over time, her blood pressure readings improved in ways her doctors hadn't expected. Such a small shift, yet such a meaningful difference. So the secret here is balance. You don't have to give up flavor to keep garlic's power alive. Just add it toward the end of cooking, stir it in lightly, or keep cooking time under a minute. This way, you get both the taste you love and the protective compounds your body needs. Garlic is at its best when treated with a little patience and just the right amount of heat. It's fascinating how one humble bulb can hold such different meanings across the world. In Eastern medicine, garlic has been treasured for centuries. Traditional Chinese medicine describes it as warm in nature, a remedy that drives out cold from the body, stimulates circulation, and clears away harmful influences. It was used not only for digestion and energy, but also as a natural shield against infections long before the word antibiotic even existed. In Ayurvedic traditions, garlic was seen as a rejuvenator, strengthening the body's fire and restoring vitality in older adults. Western medicine, on the other hand, looks at garlic through a more scientific lens. Studies highlight allicin's role in lowering cholesterol, reducing blood pressure, fighting bacteria, and even supporting the immune system. Clinical trials have shown its impact on cardiovascular health and its ability to act as a natural antimicrobial, confirming what healers from the East had already observed in practice. Of course, the two worlds don't always speak the same language. Eastern medicine talks about balancing yin and yang, while Western science points to nitric oxide, antioxidants, and platelet function. Yet, when you strip away the labels, both are describing the same truth. Garlic warms, it stimulates, it protects. I remember an elderly patient who grew up with herbal remedies from her grandmother in Vietnam, but also trusted her cardiologist here in the US. She combined the two approaches, using garlic in her daily cooking as her grandmother taught, while also following her prescribed medications. The result wasn't conflict, but harmony. Her doctors were surprised at how well her blood pressure stabilized, and she felt deeply connected to her cultural roots at the same time. Garlic, in a way, is a bridge between East and West, between tradition and science. And maybe that's why it has endured across centuries, as both food and medicine. Garlic isn't just garlic anymore. Over the years, people have found creative ways to prepare it, and each form brings something unique to the table. Take black garlic, for example. Through a slow fermentation process, its sharp bite turns sweet and mellow, almost like dried fruit. But it's not just about taste. Studies show black garlic has antioxidant power up to 10 times stronger than raw cloves. Many folks use it to support heart health and reduce inflammation. And it's gentle enough for older adults who find raw garlic too harsh. Then there's garlic infused with honey, a remedy passed down in kitchens for generations. Sweet and sticky, but surprisingly powerful. Honey itself is soothing and antimicrobial, and when paired with garlic, the two create a natural immune booster. Many families keep a small jar on hand during flu season, taking a spoonful each morning as a quiet ritual of care. Of course, not everyone enjoys peeling cloves every day. That's where garlic supplements step in, capsules and extracts, promising all the benefits without the smell. They can be convenient, especially for those with busy routines, but the catch is quality. Some pills contain little active allicin, and not every product is well regulated. It's always smart to read labels carefully and, better yet, check with a doctor before adding them alongside other medications. So which form is best? It really depends on the person. For an older adult with sensitive digestion, black garlic might be easier. For someone fighting off seasonal colds, garlic and honey could be comforting. And for those who simply want a steady dose without fuss, high-quality capsules might fit. In the end, the best choice isn't about trends. It's about what feels sustainable and safe for your own body. Looking back, we've uncovered 10 common mistakes with garlic. Each one small on the surface, but together they can quietly harm your health. And just as importantly, we've learned the simple fixes, from choosing fresh, firm bulbs, to letting garlic rest before cooking, to being mindful of medications and medical conditions. At the heart of it, the message is simple. Garlic can be a golden shield for healthy aging, but only when it's used the right way. Treated carelessly, it can become a hidden risk. Treated wisely, it can support your heart, your immune system, and your energy for years to come. Now I'd love to hear from you. How old are you, and what's your biggest health concern these days? Maybe blood pressure, joint pain, or digestion? Drop a comment below and share your story. Your words may encourage someone else who's going through the same challenges. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to Senior Health Tips Healthy Aging. This is where we walk this journey together, step by step. Don't forget to share this video with friends or family who might benefit. And stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll explore 5 powerful foods for heart health that most older adults overlook. It might surprise you what's sitting right in your kitchen, waiting to be your ally.